Hello, 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 back for part 2 of our Cambridge 17 essay reviews. So, part 1, you might have seen that. If you haven't seen it, go see it first. Put my sample essay on there. I'll put it at the end here, just in case you haven't seen it or you don't want to see it up to you. So, we've got the question. So, we've already looked at these two. So, nowadays, more people with health issues are using alternatives instead of going to the doctor. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? That's all that you've got to tell me. Now, some of the people, well, it's some people, it's not some of the people. What is that, like what, 2, 3, 4, 5? Are willing to use different technique. Again, right, so you're paraphrasing, that's not the same. It's more people, an increasing number, more and more. So that's what you've got to say. So it's not some of the people. What's that? 2, 4, 5, 15, 287, what, some. But it's not that. It says more and more, an increasing number of people. Alternative medicines, which is not the same as a different technique. This is a negative development. Now, what we have here, as I keep saying, empty sentence. In the following, I will state my reason. That tells me nothing. That's not an outline sentence. It tells me nothing. You might as well not even include it. First of all, medical science is developed based on scientific methods. Well, yeah, that's why it's called science. And the efficiency of proposed techniques by them are proven use experiments. So what you mean is that most of medical science, traditional science, is empirical, based on testing and experiment, while alternative treatment is not. Okay, I kind of get that. A slightly long-winded way of saying it, but okay. Well, if the treatment's effective, effectiveness would have been shown by an academic by the academic community, because you usually taken to be as one, by the academic community. Okay. So effectiveness is better not to use any uncommon good things real exposed. Okay, right. We want to know, that's again, right? More and more people, is it good or bad? Now, it doesn't ask why do they do this. It doesn't ask why, and it doesn't say why medical science is good or alternative medicine is good or bad. It says more people, this trend, more people not seeing the doctor, is that good or bad? So, it's a negative development. Medical science. So now, experiments, what treatments? Are you talking about what illnesses? Are you talking about what cure for what? Are you talking about, what methods, what techniques, what experiments? Really, this is very, very vague. And to the reader, it's not really answering the question. Is it a positive thing, a good trend, this trend, is it good or bad? You said it's bad, but here you haven't really told me why it's bad. So you've kind of said, well, and also, right, it's not good, it's not traditional medicine good, alternative medicine bad. Again, we keep having to, come up to see this point. Instead of visiting their normal doctor. So they're not going to the GP. They're not going to see their doctor. They're using alternatives. So it's not necessarily about the treatment, but it's just they're not going to the doctor. Why aren't they going to see the doctor? What is it about the traditional doctor that they don't like? Okay, so you're telling me here about why medical science is good, but you kind of tell me some alternatives, so you don't tell me what those are. Is it acupuncture? Is it hypnosis? Is it herbal tea? Chinese medicine? Is it homeopathy? massage, no idea. You haven't really told me. Huge share, you mean a huge share or a large amount of these treatments are fraudulent. Implementing measures and trying to absorb, or you mean attract people's attention to their products. How is that a serious example? Okay, medical science, undeniable reality. Is indicated. So you're talking about doctors here, but right. So it's kind of on topic up to a point, but it's not specific. It doesn't tell me what the techniques are, what the alternatives are. The paraphrase is not so clear. It doesn't really tell me what you're talking about. Again, is it acupuncture or homeopathy? I have no idea. So here you've kind of said alternative medicine bad, traditional medicine good. But it still hasn't told me if this is a positive trend or not. So you've told me that this is good but this is bad, but is it a good thing or bad thing? So you say, well, it's a bad thing because it's killing people. Okay, that's bad. But is it good? Why, so you haven't really explained this trend. What you've basically done is saying modern medicine is this, traditional medicine is that, but that's not what the question is. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Well, it isn't, and that's not what the paraphrase says. It says more and more. So this trend is developing, this trend is increasing. Is this trend more people not seeing their doctor? Is this good or bad? Sometimes I bet this is a negative development. Patients should, not would. Now this is a little better. That initial sentence doesn't really work though. It doesn't say it's common, because it isn't common. It's increasing, but that's not the same as is it common. On the one hand, using treatment methods except of visiting doctors, except for visiting doctors, can be economical, less side effects. The use of herbal medicines is the best example. Is it the best example? Many patients found that they're missing a patient. I don't think that cancer patients really are drinking cups of herbal tea. I don't think so. So, herbal medicine, and I'm sure we're not taking it for heart disease either. Really? So if you've got cancer, you go and drink some chamomile tea or some Chinese herbal tea? Really? I don't think so. So I kind of got what you're talking about, but again, I think you're using it for the wrong conditions. Now, in my sample, which you'll see afterwards, I specifically said it's good for some conditions, such as maybe stopping for smoking or minor back pain. Alternatives to those might be beneficial as a trend. So doctors can concentrate on more serious conditions. But for serious conditions, you need to see a doctor. So I specifically drew a line, made a distinction between those two. Whereas here you are saying herbal medicine is the best example for cancer patients. I've never heard that. Well, not live cancer patients anyway. Probably dead ones after drinking herbal medicines or herbal teas. The patients and they can provide them, and they can be purchased. And they can be purchased both through online shops and shops. I'm just going to approach disorders. Well, maybe that's true for some conditions, but again, you'd have to tell me what disorders. I'm sure that if you've got some serious issue, you're not going to go and buy some herbs, really. If it's expensive, I kind of not. So you'd have to say why it's a negative. So again, is this good or bad, this trend? So you don't really tell me if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Well, in the introduction you say it's bad and that they should visit doctors, but then you've got on the one hand, on the other hand. So you're looking at both views, like it's a discussion essay question, but it doesn't ask you that. It says, is this trend good or bad? You say it's bad, so you've got to tell me why. Why is it bad? But here now, you're telling me actually this is good. So examiner's going to be scratching his kind of head here and going, well, hang on, you just told me it's bad and patients should see the doctor, but now you're telling me that some specific kind of herbs, even though you don't really say what, is a good thing. So I'm not really sure what you're talking about. On the other hand, I believe that the patients are correctly diagnosed and treated by a visiting doctor. By what? Visiting doctors, or the doctor. Patients are, or what patients can be, because it's not happened yet. And also they can recover. Also, they can recover very quickly in a short period. In a shorter period, okay. Patients are given special recommendations and treated relative to the relative disorder they have, as well as the illnesses are diagnosed by both specialist, skilled persons and well-equipped devices in medical centres. Medical centres. Some doctors attend with different speciality, and it's unbelievable whether he or she refers the patient to another doctor. That's a lengthy sentence. That is tried. Oh dear. So, on the other hand, I believe the patients can be correctly diagnosed by visiting the doctor. Right. So, make that abstract. Okay. Patients can be correctly diagnosed and treated by visiting the doctor. Can recover very quickly in a shorter period. Patients are given special recommendations and treated related to the relative disorder they have, as well as their illnesses are diagnosed by both specialist, skilled persons and well-equipped devices. Medical centres, some doctors attend with different speciality or different specialities because it's an abstract noun. Okay, if any doctor is unable to diagnose problem, she prefers to that should try that. Tries to diagnose their illness as good as possible, the best they can. My opinion, disease or so. This is. I'm not really sure what you're trying to do here. So, you say these treatment methods can be useful and economical sometimes, though. But then you're talking about the useful for cancer, which I don't think is actually true. So you say it can be good or side effects, and then you're talking about because reasons of cost, and then you can get them in shops more accessible. So then you say it's a negative so overall it's. I think that's what you're trying to say. So on the one hand, it's good, but you said it's good only sometimes. But here you say it's always good because you can use it for heart disease and cancer. But then you say On the other hand, patients can be diagnosed by doctors, but isn't that so? You said that's good, and this is also good. So, how have you proven which one is better? So, all right, with the increase in medicines, actually, well, I wouldn't put that in the introduction because that, I already just said using alternative medicines. Now, this is better, right? Some positive and negative. So I can see this is going to be a more balanced essay. So this is looking better now, though it is too short at 247 words. You would probably get a penalty for that. Most diseases are short-lived. Well, that's not strictly true, is it? Severe symptoms. That's not true also. Not all diseases have severe symptoms. Palliatives, now that's end-of-life care. Palliatives. So the medicines can outweigh. So most diseases are short-lived. Well, that's not true, but bring severe symptoms. Also, that's not true. Therefore, palliative methods, normally by alternative medicines, can outweigh curative methods, which need more budget. What you mean, which are more expensive? Muscular spasm pain can be allayed. Okay, make it passive. Can be allayed by simple acupuncture. Take supplement is easy to pursue. Medical procedure. Second one is going to go people having accidents is not own. Africa. There are rare. What you mean? Hygiene institutions are rare. You mean there are not enough or a shortage of hygiene institutions? You mean hospitals? Hygiene institutions. Well, so you say so. Right. I'm trying to work out here what exactly you're trying to say. So you say that this is positive then. Comparative methods, so they're cheaper, affordable, because not everybody can access medical services, but how would they access alternative medicines also? And again, you'd have to tell me what specifically. Acupuncture. Do they use acupuncture in Africa? I thought that was China or Southeast Asia. Or herbs. Must have followed special sensitizers. Okay, so you've got to read that paragraph a couple of times to get the point. Okay, so that one is better. So, going to expose in time, something like a storage, non-curative method of action. Okay, so, right, you've got to read the whole essay to get the actual point out, but still, it's a little bit short, and you need to be a little clearer, especially in this paragraph 2 here. What the positive, you can write a balanced essay, but again, you would have to talk about what conditions you can use it for. So, like in mine, I talk about it's good for some things. So I say, not all health problems need to be seen to by a doctor. Stopping smoking, back pain, and other minor aches and pains could be treated. Poor posture, acupuncture, Chinese herbal medicine, etc. Why is that good? Because it would leave the GPs with more time to see people with serious conditions. So that's why that trend is good. On the other hand, for some conditions, it's bad. Because the doctors know best, and these serious things, such as cancer, cannot be cured by drinking a cup of herbal tea or acupuncture. So I say, well, it depends what the condition is. So if a condition is not so serious, alternatives, if it works, that's good. But if it's more serious, it's bad, because it will lead to illness and death. Okay, right. So, not too bad, as I say. A bit of a mixed bag of essays here, I have to say, and I've got to finish in a second. Got some students coming. So, right, avoid empty sentences. That tells me nothing at all. I showed you something in the video a couple of days back where other quite well-known IELTS teachers online specifically say why that's a bad thing, because it's a waste of words, doesn't tell us anything. And repetition, not being clear, not being true. Some ailments, some doctors, some what exactly are you talking about? Some phrases don't really work. Some of the examples also don't really work, too vague. Some methods, some techniques, some treatments, some cures, some illnesses. What does that mean? And that, as an example, I don't think that actually works. Really, cure cancer with just drinking water. So, as I say, a mixed bag. You need to make sure that you paraphrase correctly. Don't add it or change anything in any ways. And yeah, that's a bit short. But anyway, so a mixed bag indeed. So that's the last of the essays. What we're going to be doing now, we're going to be doing task 1. I've posted one in the group today. I'll put all the links below if you're watching this on my channel on YouTube. So we've got a group on Telegram where we're looking at writing for the IELTS. And we're going to do academic task 1, beginning with Cambridge 17. So that's available for you to post your writings on. So I'm going to call this quits. So in the group on Telegram, this video is in 2 parts. For me on YouTube, if that's where you are watching it, I will later compile them both, so it'll just be one. Okay, but in any case, I hope that helps, and we'll see you next time.